Well, good evening, everyone. This is Chattanooga Weather Desk Storm Tracker Steve here, and we're talking about several things that are on its way. The first thing I would like to talk about is the potential winter weather that is making its way across Tennessee into Wednesday and Wednesday night into early Thursday morning. It's going to take that long for this system to make its way through unless there is a change in the overall pattern. That's the duration that this system is going to take. But first, let's review over the last few days of the ice storm that did hit Tennessee. Models were extremely impressive with the ice storm that was hitting the Tennessee Valley. And of course, there was earlier predictions that it would be a pretty good snowstorm event. But once I started seeing signs of the warm air advection that was going to lift off to the northeast and from the Gulf Coast, and just so you know what the warm air advection really is it's basically rising. It's basically it's basically a warm front, if you will. The warm advection comes out from the Gulf Coast of Mexico from the warmest temperatures, and as the some of the warmer air surface temperatures rises, what happens is it comes in between all the precipitation levels, and it either keeps the effects of it is what changes the equalization of precipitation, such as if it were rain, let's say colder air started, it would basically turn into some snow, and then not only that, but either freezing rain. But anytime you get that warm air advection rising, that rising air, basically what happens is any precipitation that is falling is sleet or snow, if you will. It'll change that motion into some freezing rain, and that's what we've been dealing with. Even though there was a lot of cold air that was predicted within probably the last week or so, things really began to change dramatically when that warm air started to lift its way a little bit more northward toward the Tennessee Valley. Not only did it change precipitation amounts, but it also changed the precipitation type as far as snow and freezing rain goes. It went straight from a snow prediction to nothing but a freezing rain event for many areas across the valley. And man, what damage did it do? And I'm going to actually share some screen shares with you here and kind of give you a little background of what happened in the past few in the last couple of days that did happen. And I'm going to give credit to the remaining people who did send those pictures. The first thing I would like to do is I want to go ahead into my home account, and I want to dig on down here. Now this was from yesterday's pictures. Even though I'm working on a lot of posts today, I'm going back down to my posts from yesterday, and I want to kind of show you what all had happened yesterday with yesterday's event and how it started out, and also show you some pictures that were sent to me as well. Now, as you all know, we did experience a pretty heavy ice storm across portions of the Tennessee Valley and much of the plateau. And yes, I did receive quite a few pictures, and I'm going to show you some new pictures a little bit later on whenever I broadcast more. But right now, I just want to kind of give some reports that was sent yesterday on Facebook, personal Facebook profiles, and even sent to me. There was reports of heavy sleet that came down in West Tennessee, and this happened on, I want to say, Saturday night. Actually, it happened on Sunday night. Got reports of sleet and, of course, real heavy freezing rain that fell across West Tennessee, and no sooner than that, actually going into Monday, the freezing rain and started to reach portions of the lower valley areas, such as northern Hamilton County, and it was just a very, very massive mess, if you will, when it came to the freezing stuff. Now, here's a picture that was sent from Danny Cleveland, and as I bring this up here, you'll see how heavy the freezing rain was. And as you can see here, this is all freezing rain or all sleet. That's what this is, and it basically, it probably looks about a half of a finger, a half of a tip of a finger, um, basically 3/4 to a half inch of ice is what I'm trying to tell you. And as you can see, all that heavy weight on those trees, and of course there's the birdhouse that I'm pointing to. A lot of ice that just really, really covered a lot of section across Cleveland, Tennessee. And that came from Danny McAllister. This next picture, also from Cleveland, Tennessee. This is a picture of freezing rain, and that land that basically covered a lot of the property. We're talking wires, trees, a lot of houses, rooftops covered completely in glaze. And what happened, because of the weight of the ice on the trees and with the winds that blew last night, the site itself scared a lot of residents across Tennessee. And so, guys, I hope that your power is getting cut back on for those of you who have power that is currently off at this moment. Want to go down to a couple more pictures. This is from Arlene Strunk, Cleveland. She sent this yesterday, as a matter of fact. This is actually a picture of, an antenna, it looks like, and it's covered in nothing but glaze. And then just probably a few yards down, you'll see ice and glaze on this roof of the building, and you'll notice a little bit of the light glaze on these trees. And so, man, what a interesting couple of days it was, as the ice storm just really, really claimed a lot of property, from fallen trees across power lines, and just awful stuff. As a matter of fact, here's the radar replay from yesterday as well. There you see the radar replay from the storm that hit. It started out across West Tennessee, and it was in the form of some sleet and freezing rain. And then no sooner than it started out as a sleet and freezing rain event, it went all to freezing rain as it went into the central and southern areas of the valley. So pretty nasty situation that hit both the valley and some parts of the plateau, and just a really, really amazing cover there coming from out of the Tennessee Valley. Here's was yesterday's explanation. I was telling you a little bit about the warm air advection. Yesterday, temperatures were pretty well into the 20s and lower 30s. It was 20s across Kentucky, and it was 20s over the plateau. Now, there was questions about why was there freezing rain and why was there sleet when in fact temperatures were in their 20s. Well, the atmospheric conditions in the current low levels are basically facing 20s and 30s. In the mid levels of the atmosphere, where the rain falls as a freezing rain, it begins to come in as sleet, and then of course it changes all to basically sleet, freezing rain combination mix, and that's what you had there. So and here's why a lot of things happened the way it did. Notice that orange line. Me and my wife was talking about this last night. I've talked about it a few times yesterday too. This is what is known as the warm air advection. Now, notice the difference. Temperatures across Tennessee are currently into the 20s and 30s, while south of Tennessee, they're around Chattanooga, Lawrenceburg, West Tennessee, Memphis, into the 20s and 30s. Now, go a little bit more further south from there. We're talking Alabama, Mississippi, down into Georgia. We're talking upper 40s, upper 30s, lower 40s. Yeah, that's the warm air advection that I was telling you about. And it was shooting its way northward. And as it was doing so, that's what was causing the precipitation to remain as rain as far as parts of south areas of Hamilton County down into Alabama and Mississippi. So, now that we got to that, we are now dealing with a lot of power lines that are broke by a lot of trees. We're looking at some downed trees in a lot of portions of the county, and not to mention the emergency management agencies and I think it was the government that declared Tennessee a disaster area because of that ice storm. So just an amazing, amazing weather events that unfolded. Well, we are not done yet with the winter weather. Let me go ahead and show you what I'm talking about here, as we got a couple more rounds to go. Let me go to 00 to the last couple. Let me go to a few hours back on the first model here. This is the previous system that moved on out of the Carolinas. Notice there's still some snow out to sea there, and down below that you have a lot of rain showers that is just south of that. And what is going on is it's joined along the coastal areas down through Florida, getting a lot of rain, some of it very heavy at times as it moves off the coast. Now, notice the low pressure area that you see the green across northern parts of Amarillo, Texas, on up into Missouri. That is our next storm system. And you'd probably ask, well, what does that have to do with Tennessee, Steve? Well, let me kind of give you a little replay here. What's going to happen is that system is going to come together as predicted, and as it's already doing. It's already snowing in some areas across Missouri right now, and pretty soon going to move into West Tennessee, expected later tonight. But there's that area that's already beginning. This model is right on track. I have no reason not to believe this model. Matter of fact, I'll show you radar display showing you this model is on track here in a few minutes. But this is as of 10 o'clock p.m. This is what is expected to go on now. And if you don't have a reason to believe it, well, we're fixing to test its theory here in a few minutes. It's showing snow showers lining up anywhere from southwest Illinois down into Missouri, central Missouri, and on down into northwest Arkansas. Do I believe that's happening? You bet, because this model is really good. My wife got it for me, and it's an awesome model. Now, what's going to happen with this snow is it's going to hit Missouri, central Missouri, and then by 1 a.m. it's going to move into West Tennessee. Now, this should be reaching Zach's area. Zach just got through talking about on a live media broadcast that there's going to be some snow later tonight and into the day and into the early morning hours on Wednesday. And now what that is expected to do is move into the Tennessee River Valley, West Tennessee by 1 a.m. in the morning. Now, that's 1 o'clock in the morning, folks. That's as early as you can get it there. By 4 a.m., it covers the Tennessee River. It moves east of West Tennessee, covers the Tennessee River. But look what happens as it moves on east. There's a little bit of moisture that's still left over in Georgia and a little bit of topographic lifting. Look what happens once that front moves in. Boom, it builds, it picks up energy, and it brings a lot more heavier snow showers along Ohio, down into Kentucky, down into Middle Tennessee, and this is as of 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So we're probably looking at this thing getting closer to Chattanooga and Cleveland at about 7 a.m. in the morning. So if you're headed out near 7 o'clock in the morning, you're probably going to maybe see a few flurries, a few flakes falling around. That is if temperatures continue to hold the way they are and things don't change. Some of the models are wanting to show it kind of mixing out a little bit. So don't be scared, but you may actually see a little freezing rain or sleet on the onset of things. Now, as we move this model run, you'll see about 10 a.m. in the morning, scattered snow showers. That's what this model is saying. The system is still going to be intact. But we're talking anywhere from Kentucky down into the Tennessee Valley, numerous to scattered snow showers along and ahead of this front. As we make a replay here, you'll see some of the snow starting to this is what I'm really concerned about. It's starting to mix with freezing rain and sleet over the mountain areas. This is actually a new pickup of a run that I'm looking at right now. It looks like it's moving off the mountains cove. It looks like it's moving off the Tennessee mountains further into South Carolina and into portions of North Carolina. But the system is going to kind of hang around for a little bit. So we're looking at moderate to heavy snow showers from Nashville and down into portions of southeast Tennessee. And then by 7 o'clock on Wednesday night, the system should be well out of here, hopefully. And if not Wednesday night, it looks like by Thursday, by Wednesday night, by 10 p.m., the system should be well out of here. So it's good news for a change. Now, as we replay the models over the next few days, we're going to be in the clear, except as we go ahead and into the future extended runs, there's another future system that may bring some freezing rain and some sleet or snow into the area once again. Now, that being said, remember the model I was telling you about? Well, let's test its theory and see if it's right. It said it would be a line of snow showers in central Missouri down into Arkansas. Look at that. That cannot fail. Look at this. This is a line of snow showers, exactly what it said. Central Missouri, Arkansas, fixing to get into some heavy snow showers. Now, notice the models are saying it's going to go unobstructed over the next probably 12 hours. Once it gets into West Tennessee, it's probably going to build a little bit more. The models also indicated there would be some moisture left over South Alabama and Georgia. Look right here. Now, how smart can you get with a model like that? It's actually showing some picking up across parts of Ohio down into Kentucky, and by later tonight, we should see this full system, full speed ahead, moving to the Tennessee Valley. So isn't that awesome? I like that. I like how these models are actually running. Okay, here's the latest surface analyst. Did mention a cold front would move into Arkansas, Missouri, and Tennessee. There that cold front is. It's moving its way into West Tennessee. Should be in Northwest Tennessee as early as Wednesday morning. And then the next 12-hour range shows the front exiting out of Tennessee no later than Wednesday night. So that's a look at that so far in the latest runs. Now let me go to the National Weather Service office, and I want to show you some advisories that are issued here and show you some snowfall amounts. There are many questions probably going on about, okay, well, I was thinking that they might have added Georgia under a winter weather advisory, but it looks like they haven't yet. But for some reason, I'm expecting that to change, okay? So please stay tuned. All right, here's a little thing from Morristown, Tennessee, and those guys probably insist that I share this since I'm WRN. This is actually tonight's map from Morristown, Tennessee. They're worried about black ice on the roads for tonight because of the very cold weather. And not to mention only black ice, but there is a winter weather advisory in effect for snow. Okay, so this is for snow. It's not for ice, but it's for snow. And look at the red area. East Tennessee. This does not only say Chattanooga, but it includes all of East Tennessee. Morristown's expecting this system to move completely east-southeast across the area. Now, here are the latest amounts. This is the question everybody's asking. How much snow will we see? Is it enough to probably do some cancellations? Take a look at this. Anywhere from Kentucky to the Plateau, we're looking at a general 2 to 4 inches. Now, up into Kentucky here, Pikeville, Kentucky, Pinehawk, Kentucky, Knox County, Kentucky, an easy 10 to 20 inches of snow just coming off the mountains. Wow, that's amazing. Now, is it possible that some of that may fall into some heavier snow across the plateau and into the valley? Yes, because the reason is because there's a lot of energy that's coming straight up from the mountains and straight up from the plateau, and it's connecting with that storm system and it could get stuck right there, and that's what could produce the troublemaker. Now look at the valleys. This light purple, this dark kind of gray there. Look what it says: 1 to 2 inches easy across the valley. Now you may not think that's much. For the Chattanooga people, it can be quite a bit because the roads are already messy in some areas. There's still a lot of work to be done with some electricity and some of the power that's out. And so between tomorrow morning and early tomorrow afternoon, I don't think traveling would be a good idea because the system is going to come in. Snow could be heavy at times, and even though it's going to be a quick 1 plus 3 inches, be careful out there, folks. It's going to be a serious of a weather system, and only just a few differences of inches of snow can actually let you have a bad day. Now let me go to my weather prediction models here and kind of show you the based information coming in the next 1 to 2 day period. And let me go ahead and go into the service analyst. Now for Wednesday, there you see that front, exactly what the model I just looked at showed. Now there's some concern here, and the concern is showing possible thunder snow, and this is going on for maybe Ohio, showing across Kentucky, maybe even parts of Nashville. Now what thunder snow is, it's that cold air that's hitting slightly warmer air, and as it does so, all that energy that's rising up from the mountains is creating that violence is creating that volatile roar within the atmosphere. And so you're going to get thunder snow, and with thunder snow at some point you could get some heavy snows, anywhere from a ½ inch to 1 inch an hour. Now the front is going to move on east-southeast, and once it does so, it should be out of northeast Tennessee or close to it by as early as Thursday morning. So that's why there's a winter weather advisory in effect. Honey, for some reason I got a feeling this may change to winter storm warning. I don't know. We'll see. But anyway, that front's going to move out of the northeast Tennessee Valley and into South Carolina, North Carolina. And then as we go into Thursday, high pressure moves back in control. Our weather clears out for a little bit. And then Friday, our next storm system comes into the weekend. We could be looking at another nasty setup, but I'm not going to say anything about that for now. One more stop at something. Let me go ahead and share some information with you. And by doing that, I want to go back to the weather tab here. Can I get back to the weather tab, computer? Appreciate the comments on this video. I'll answer your questions as soon as I can here in a few minutes. Okay, let's look at the temperatures. Okay, now the next question is, will temperatures be cold enough? Well, the temperatures in Chattanooga are currently 25 degrees. It's 28 in Giles, or 28 in Lawrenceville, Tennessee, 27 in Memphis, and 22 in Nashville. So with a reinforcing shot of cold air, I do believe it's going to be cold enough to see an extra shot of some winter precipitation as soon as that front gets in. All right, let's look at some winter safety tips, then I'll leave you alone for much of the evening, and I'll continue to keep you updated as posts on the Facebook. I believe you've known everything you needed to know. Now, I do believe this. I do believe that parts of Georgia may actually get put under this winter weather advisory. It's already been issued for South Carolina, North Carolina, pretty much all of Tennessee, and all of North and Southern Alabama. Parts of Georgia may actually see this storm system. I'm not sure why that could be, but it really depends on how that system moves on in and what we could be dealing with. Everybody mentioned dangerous wind chills. That's also possible for the next couple of nights, especially Thursday morning. If you're headed out on Thursday morning after the snow and everything moves out, winds are going to be quite gusty. Temperatures during Thursday morning shows 5 to 10 degrees. So that's going to be extremely cold. Some of the temperatures and wind chills could be around the minus range. So please be ready. Here's some winter weather safety tips for you. Stay inside. That's a big rule. Do not travel unless absolutely necessary. If you must travel, the National Weather Service says keep your gas tank full. Try not to travel alone. Guys, don't travel anywhere without letting your wife know where you're at, what you're doing, because if you get stuck out there, you let her know. She's not going to know where you're at. Let someone know your travel plans. Have an emergency kit prepared with items that includes blankets, flashlight, batteries, first aid kit, extra clothing, extra food and water, candles, matches, shovel, scraper or brush, toolkit, tow rope, booster cables, compass, and road maps. Just in case you want to know some road conditions, this is also passed along the National Weather Service to the viewers. In the state of Tennessee, if you're in, whether it be Chattanooga, Memphis, or Nashville, you are to call 615-743-2848. In the state of North Carolina, 919-707-2660. In the state of Virginia, you're looking at 1-800-367-7623. And in the state of Kentucky, Department of Transportation is 866-737 and 3767. So that's all I have for you for now, guys. Again, watch out for that winter. Don't want to call it a winter storm yet. We got to figure out what this to do when it comes across state. But be expecting some snow to come in later tonight across West Tennessee, into the morning hours across the rest of Tennessee. How much will Chattanooga see? So far, models are saying 1 to 2 inches. We'll see what happens there. For some reason, a lot of people think around me that it could be less than that. We'll see what happens there. But once that storm system exits out, cold temperatures to follow. So that's a look at the latest updates. I'm hoping I've gave everybody what they wanted. And for those of you that are looking to this link, please share it with your friends, and I'll keep you updated. Once again, a winter weather advisory is in effect until Thursday morning. Nice.